Hello and welcome to QED Stata 4 from part S21. Before we go ahead and do the merge, I want to have a quick look at the World Development Indicator data so you can see what we're dealing with. So this is the kind of situation where the immediate mode is good because we're just having a look to work out what's going on before we put in the next lot of commands. So we don't want to store this in the do file because we'll just do it once what we're investigating now. So if we go back to Stata itself, and just open that, and it's in the data file for a start. Yeah, it's World Development Indicators, GNI, GDP, that one. And here's the data. So you can see what you've got here. You've got, this is the data we've got. So we've got GDP per capita and GNI per capita. GNI is better really because it reflects income of people in the country more, but there are so many missing variables, much more missing data than there is for GDP. And it tends to be quite poor countries that miss it and miss out on it as well. So I think for the sake of having more data observations, we'll stick with GDP for now. If you want to repeat the analysis, you can do the same thing with GNI, PC, and see if there's any differences. Now, there's two countries now. There's C code and country are the two kind of, sorry, C code is the country code we're going to use, not this one, because this doesn't really match. This is not exact. If you look in detail, this sometimes doesn't match up the way they write these codes here. Cote d'Ivoire, Iraq, Iraq, comma, or Hong Kong, comma, China, and small differences like that mean it won't match. But this is national standard. These three character codes, so we'll use that. So these are the two variables we'll be dealing with. That's the number we're interested in. This is the one that we use to match it up with a key variable called C code. So this is how it's going to match up together. So we're going to have the World Value Survey 7 is going to be open in memory in Stata, and we're going to import. We're going to do two merges: merge in the World Value Survey 6 and the World Development Indicators information. So here we're going to get the previous answers to the questions. Here we're going to get the income data to see if income is related to any of the values. And for example, for Brazil, we want one single row so that somehow it's going to know to match up these numbers with these numbers and these numbers. So the World Value Survey is going to be matched with the previous World Value Survey using this code number here. Remember that this blue thing is just the code number. So Brazil, it's actually 140, the same as 140. The blue is just a text label. So it matches this 140 here with this 140 here, so it knows to put those lines together. And then the World Value Survey is going to match up the WDI by using this column here to match up the BRA with the BRA here. That's fine, but it will only work if the name of this variable is exactly the same as this variable, and the name of this variable is the same as this variable. At the moment it's not, so just the whole thing is not possible. So what we've got to do is rename that. So the ones in memory, I suggest we're going to rename to match the ones on file. So that one's got to be called C code, and this one I have to be just renamed cow. So that renames those two things as C code and cow. So we can do that in the do file. Just try and get that bit for a change. Put it in the do file. Hopefully you can see why. If I run this, I get an error. Hopefully. Where's data? Yeah, it's not found. That's because at the moment in the memory I've still got that World WDI that we opened. But that's the joy of do files, is that to get back to it, I just start from here again where it loads in the World Value Survey and does all that stuff. And then hopefully it will recode it. And this time I'll be cheerful with the no RMS this time, and the browser has now changed to this. So we've got the data we're working on back again. That's the World Value Survey round 7 data is back in there again, and it's renamed these two variables. So that's now C code, that will match the WDI. This is now cow, that will match the previous WVS. So now we're ready, everything's matched up. It should be time to do the actual merge commands. which are simple in principle, but they often go wrong because you get some detail wrong, but fingers crossed. So section 23, merge them up. So the difficult part for you, I suspect, will be making sure this is right. That's got to point at exactly at your the one you're merging in. But you should be able to copy it from where you saved it previously in the do file. No, I need the whole thing merge. So merge once more means that it's going to try and match up one line in each file, the same as in that picture above. So one here matches one here, and one here matches one here. Cal means that when you're matching the WD, cal means and C code mean which ones it matching up. So this is now called cal. No, this is called C code, and this is just called cal. So those are the two that are matching up with the cal and the C code here. Using means what's the other one file that we're going to use apart from one in memory. That's what that is. Gen, this just creates a variable you'll see in a minute at the end, which tells you how it all went. And keep match means that if there's any observations that there's not a match for, it just drops those. So we're only going to end up with ones where there's rows in both the data sets. So let's see if that will actually do anything. Do file. Okay, let's give it a go. Good, no red ink in there. That's pretty good. Browse, what's it done? So there's the 18 data, but go along here. See, we've now also got the 2012 data. So it's added in the 2012 variables. That's what the merger's done. So it's matched up, hopefully, the right rows are the right rows. And here, this is the extra variable I'm talking about, and it uses a code from 1 to 3, and 3 means it's matched. So it's just confirming that all the cases here are matched. They're both from there's a row in both data sets. Okay, so we've got the data in there, and now we're going to do the similar thing to get the data on income from the world development indicators. So that's this one here. So that merges into the data set in memory, matching with C code using this file, which is the World Development Indicator file. It's going to give us this as the output variable. This option I did not use in the first command. It tells it, don't import all the variables. The only variable I want to bring in is the GDP PC one. So if you wanted to work on GNI, you could add GNI or put GNI instead there. And this one means that match the master. If there's anything, only go for perfect matches, but if in the master file, which is this patriarchal language for the one that's already in the memory, if there isn't a match in the using file that you're bringing in, don't drop the one in the master file, just keep it there with a blank. So that's what protects the data you have in memory, even if there's no match. To the do file. Seems good, see if it does anything. Status seems happy. The browser should hopefully have now got. Yeah, so there's the income matched here. Here's the GBBC. That's what it needs. You can see in one case the match was here saying that this only exists in the master file. So if I'd used the match command, it would have dropped that observation. So we would, poor old Taiwan will no longer be with us, but it's kept Taiwan because it's in the master file, it's not in the WVS file. So we haven't got the data on income because it doesn't exist in the WDI indicators for political reasons. We haven't got an income for that. We've got incomes for all the other countries. Okay, so that's how the merge works. And there's more explanation there if you weren't sure about that. Oh yeah, the final step is just to add this in and make sure you save it, because now you've done all this work to tidy up and get a merged data set. We're going to do some analysis now, but you might want to do some later on. So you might want to return to it in future and do some more analysis without necessarily going through that whole rigmarole again. Fun though it was. So I'd get that and just run that just to save the file. And then you could, in principle, run the whole of this now and do the whole thing again. But before we do that, we're going to go on and do a bit of analysis of the data now. I've got it in one place, just to see if there's been any changes in world values or how they're related to income. But we'll save that for the next video. And for now, thanks for watching.